Okay, JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Well, getting started a little early here, about 10 minutes earlier than normal, but nonetheless, we have plenty to talk about today, and that's the good thing with this. Look, talk football, we're going to talk nothing but football with you, and with all the sports and everything going on right now with the coronavirus, we hope everybody is safe. Remember, wash your hands, use common sense. If you're sick, don't go out. Just stay at home, watch The Price is Right, or listen to us. We'd love to have you. Remember, on that note, too, 850-623-1330 is our studio line. Give us a call. What's on your mind? What's going on in the football world in your opinion, and what do you think is going to happen as well? Listen, there's so much to talk about here on this Monday afternoon. Coach, I know with everything it's been so crazy, going on, I'm sure it was a crazy weekend. If you tried to get some groceries, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. I was one of those people trying to get just some common items. But nonetheless, Coach, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing well. Looking forward to. I tell you, with all that's going on right now, it's my gosh, it's more like mid-season.
Absolutely. That's the thing here is, listen, with free agency around the corner, of course, teams, and I'm having to refresh here every couple seconds, it seems, as guys are getting franchise tagged or transition tagged or exclusive rights tagged, whatever it may be. Some guys have gotten a deal. Coach, I do want to talk about one of the biggest deals here we talked is Tom Brady could possibly go to the Tennessee Titans. It seemed as the favorite, and I think it was the favorite. Now, the Tennessee Titans have agreed to sign Ryan Tannehill to a 4-year, $118 million deal with $62 million guaranteed. Now, here's the thing. I know some people are saying you overpaid for Ryan Tannehill. Well, that could be the case, but let's remember on this market as well that you've got a quarterback in your system that you know works in your system. You've got a great system going with the Tennessee Titans. They were one game away, about a touchdown away from moving on there when the situation was at hand. And for Ryan Tannehill, look, as a Tennessee Titans fan, would I have wanted Tom Brady? Of course. I think there's no doubt you would get Tom Brady. But, Coach, for Tannehill here, I think the Titans, when it came down to it, they had this deal in hand just in case.
I think, I think that's exactly what happened. I think they wanted. In fact, I'm pretty well satisfied, without any question, they wanted Brady at Tennessee. But in the meantime, they had to protect themselves with Tannehill, as you should. So I think they got the deal worked out with him and waited on Brady, and Brady probably let him know he would tell him at the exact moment that he could, and he probably gave him the word, and they went made public the deal with Tannehill. Smart thing to do. Now some of these so-called know-it-all sports commentators just delight in downing Brady, saying that nobody wants Brady. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
ridiculous. But they love that. People like to put a downer on other people that are successful or are doing well, and it's just ridiculous. But I don't know. I don't know where he's going to end up. Now I still think there are two teams that we've talked about that are still in the running, and nobody's going to buy that. But I think there are two teams that are in the running, and we'll see what happens. He may end up back at New England, but it's going to be interesting when it happens.
Well, Coach, moving on to another quarterback here, Dak Prescott has been the other guy that we talked about with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Look, trying to get a long-term deal, and I think both of them wanted a long-term deal, but the numbers never added up. Of course, Dak Prescott coming out, and it seems that he wanted $40 million, which may be insane. I'm not going to say I've seen crazier things happen at this point with the market and everything going on. But the Cowboys were going to offer him $33 million. They came out and said, listen, in September we offered him this deal, and he did not take it. So when you look at what's happening now, well, they placed the exclusive franchise tag on Dak Prescott. What does that mean? Well, here's the thing. It means with the move, the Cowboys have until July 15th to work out a long-term contract. If no deal is reached, Prescott will have to play the 2020 season on the tag, and the sides can do the same dance next offseason. Coach, when you look at this for Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys, this almost is such a mess, and we knew this was going to be a mess when we heard the rumors that come out, the $33 million offered to him, and he denied it. He said, nope, not taking that one. When you look at this, Coach, with Tom Brady and all the, of course, Tannehill signing with the Titans now, first question to you, is Dallas doing the right thing putting the exclusive franchise tag? Because through this, The Dak Prescott can't talk to other teams. So that's the other part of this is he can't talk to somebody else during this whole ordeal. So they kind of have the control here.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's well. I think at this point, if this is a binding deal with him, maybe one of my possibilities for Brady may be gone. But well, no, that was a good move on their part. If this is the guy they want, I'm not convinced, JP, that this is the guy that Jerry Jones feels is going to be the type quarterback to lead his Dallas Cowboys to almighty glory. Okay, I just don't. I just don't have a feel that that's what he. This is what he wants at this time. But he may be. It may be that he has no choice. He can't get up to get. If he got a rookie, like we talked about the other day, I think everybody agrees. Jerry Jones knows he doesn't have all that much time left. Does he have a time? Does he have time to bring a rookie along 3, 4, 5 years to get to that maturation point where they can be a Super Bowl type football team? And I don't think he sees that. Um, so now, is there a free agent? That's why I thought that Brady really made sense for Dallas, but maybe not. I still think he makes sense for the Colts. And the more I hear about Tampa, I think they've got a shot at him. But I would be a little suspicious of that offensive line at Tampa.
Yeah, I think the weapons are there, no doubt. But the running back is not there. Let's remember that. They had virtually no running game in Tampa. And if you're a Tampa fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And the defense is young. They're good, but they're not great. They're not This is not a team that when you look at it, if you added Tom Brady, do you say that's the missing piece to get them to the Super Bowl? I don't see that. I just don't.
The only ray of sunshine there on their defense is the last 6 games of the season. They did play much better defensively. Statistically, we won't get into all the stats, but statistically, they were better the last 6 games of the year. So, does that help to give you some view into this year? Maybe so. Success breeds success. Uh, Possibly the learning curve caught at that point. I don't know. But anyway, I think there is a legitimate chance that now that he may go down there, if they don't get things worked out at New England, I just don't see him going back there if they're at total loggerhead between he and Belichick. I just don't see it happening.
Coach, that was my next question to you. Is when you look at this for Tom Brady, of course, I'm hearing people say, "Well, because Tennessee is out of the picture there now, that just means he's going back to New England." Well, here's a lot of things going on here. Look, I agree with you. I think Tampa. Look, we're hearing more. I can't believe I'm saying this. We're hearing so much more with Tampa. Part of the rumor that's going around with Brady is Brady wants some roster control, which you can understand. You can get for a guy like him that just played for the New England Patriots that had a receiving core that was equal to the Philadelphia Eagles. Coach, when you talk about this, though, with Brady, this doesn't mean that he's going back to New England. The rumor has been that New England offered him a 1 year deal. Now, there's no guarantee to any of this stuff. This could be hearsay, but the rumor was, and the articles that I've read, are a 1 year deal, and Brady didn't want that. So, with this being said, Coach, when you talk about this could open the door with the Titans going with Ryan Tannehill. This opens the door for everybody at this point, which everybody was still open trying to go get him. But, Coach, is it more realistic to think he would go to the Colts or the Bucks at this point?
To me, it'd be the Colts because of that offensive line. Listen, that's the best offensive line in football, and they're young, and they just got their tackle back. Just got their tackle back on put him on. I guess they tagged him, but he's they're a good football team. I'm telling you, they do need to pick up, which they can because this is a receiver rich draft coming up. They can pick up an outstanding football player in this draft at the receiver position. Uh, they've got some fairly good tools around. Uh, they've got to they've got to compliment Hilton some. They can't leave him as the only receiver out there. But they also have the young kid with the 4.2 something,
Paris
Campbell,
Campbell.
Paris Campbell,
Yep.
Ohio State should be ready to go this year. He didn't play last year, so I listen. Coach looked good to me. Plus, I got that dome. You know,
That's a big thing. I mean,
yeah.
playing, how many games you would play in a dome, and listen, the other thing too is the division. I know the Tennessee Titans, as much as I hate to say this, it's not a absolutely dominant division. You've got a team in the Houston Texans, which with
Hmm.
Bill O'Brien going to GM or whatever the other title he has now, along with head coach making decisions. Who knows? They've kind of, I feel like they've hit their ceiling with Deshaun Watson at quarterback. They just can't seem to figure it out. That defense is very rough. It's not anything that Tom Brady would worry about. And for Tennessee, who knows what's going to happen? They had a great year last year, but you figured that would be the team to beat there. And you go back to it, Coach, just the dome. I think that's a big thing. It goes, hey, look, the offensive line is great. They've got good young talent there. They're going to have another. It seems to the way the draft is looking, they're going to have another good young draft. But the other
Hmm.
thing too is the defense is good enough. This is a defense that's young. We say Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay has a good young defense. The Indianapolis Colts have a good young defense. They needed a quarterback last year, and Jacoby Brissett did as good as he could have done. But that was the difference of the Colts being to great.
You just hit on something that people don't realize. People say the Colts. Well, what the heck, the Colts? Well, wait a minute. They were just a quarterback away from being right there with the best teams in the National Football League. And I think uh, if we see that, I know that they see that. I think Ballard is a very good, competent personnel guy, and I know that Frank Reich is a heck of a coach. And there's another plus that we haven't mentioned. I know that Brady and Frank would get along great. They'd have a good rapport.
Yeah, that's a good point. Look, for Brady, this is the thing is I just want to, after we were talking about it, I just want to let people know, don't think that Brady's just going back to New England because New England still has the same problems. New England still got a lot of problems they've got to fix before Brady will go
That's
back there.
right. That's right.
Coach, I want to talk about this because, of course, it happened this weekend. Yesterday we found out the players approved the new CBA, the collective bargaining agreement. It was approved by only 60 votes. Now, majority rules here. Well, it's only 60 was more than the negative there. So when you talk about this, what does this mean? Well, what's the new CBA? Well, here's some notes for you. 17-game season could start as early as 2021. Expanded playoffs from 12 to 14 teams as soon as this season in 2020. Higher minimum salaries, improvements to benefits for current and former players, expanded rosters, and practice squads. Players can't be suspended for marijuana usage, and we talked about that. They will be fined. Player revenue will go up from 47% to 48% in 2021 and 48.5% after that. An important note, Coach, I want to make sure we know this. When we talk about players using the franchise tag or teams using the franchise tag, well, with the new agreement, the teams aren't allowed to use franchise and transition tag this offseason. Only one will be used. So we talk about this with teams like Dallas, and you've seen a bunch of teams, of course, today tagging guys. They only got one. They can only use one on this. They can't use both, which is very important because now with Dallas, they're putting the tag on Dak Prescott. Does that mean Amari Cooper is going to get paid, or are they going to let him walk? This brings up some key questions here because my thing is Amari Cooper is the guy. He's a great receiver. Look, I don't know what we heard the deal is going to be over $20 million, but here's the thing with Dak Prescott, you just tagged him, so now it opens up. You're thinking that Amari Cooper is going to come back, but this could be a whole big ordeal. I mean, this is for a lot of teams here. I mean, with a new deal, a lot of people coming out and say, "Wait a minute, I didn't realize that." Now, teams knew this, of course, tagging guys, but this is going to be interesting to see how it's going to play out.
I think they'll pay the receiver. I don't think they have any choice. Listen, the guy was such a catalyst for the resurgence last year, and just did a heck of a job, I thought. And it goes to show you how valuable that number one receiver is. A guy, you have to have a guy who can get you out of the box. Okay, what does he do? And people don't understand this. Well, why is he number one receiver, and what does he do that other receivers don't do? The first thing that he does is that he has receiver skills and can make the catch for you down the field. Secondly, and as importantly for the number one receiver, is that he can take the top off that defensive coverage, meaning that he can force them out of that box that they can get down into and just shut your run game down. They can't get in that 8, 9 man box with a guy like that out there because he's going to run by somebody. If you only got him out there singled up, listen, you're flirting with, at best, your best odds are 50-50 that he doesn't get out there and they throw the ball up and make a catch. So uh, there are just so many things that he does, and he gives the quarterback, if he works with the quarterback like he should, they have confidence in each other, and he gives the quarterback that much more confidence going into a ball game, which is invaluable. Can't tell you how valuable that guy is. And now, is he more valuable than the quarterback? No, I'm not saying that. But they will find a way, I think, to pay him and get him, and plus the fact that JP, where they draft, this is a let's put a count on some of these people now. We said there are recognized 5 to 6 quarterbacks, maybe in the first round. Recognized there are at least that many receivers in the first round. Let's just say there are 4. Cut it down to 4. And offensive tackles, the word I get is that they're counting 7 offensive tackles as guys who can legitimately come in and play and help your football team and play right off the bat. That's huge. Tackle at the tackle position. So this is a tackle-rich, receiver-rich draft, and certainly a quarterback-rich draft. So where they are, they're going to pick up an outstanding receiver or an outstanding tackle on that football team. Now, to me, if they pick up another outstanding receiver to augment or supplement their passing game to go along with what they have, get their number one guy signed, or they've really come to scratch with their passing game at that point with their receivers, the skilled people there.
Coach, when you look at this draft, I think it's important you say that just because of the talent that's in this draft, from the quarterback position, the wide receiver position, like you said, the tackles as well. This seems to be one of the best drafts in a while. Now, I understand. With that being said, we've seen drafts like this before, and things kind of flop. Well, the question I have for you is, when you look at the talent, we haven't seen talent necessarily like this, and it's been a little while. Like I said, I know there's a lot can go on here. There's a lot of things that can happen, whatever it may be. But is this one of the better drafts in recent years?
I have to say it is, yeah, because you've got look at what you have here with the quarterbacks. We would say, what have you got to have in order to be a good football team? You got to have a quarterback, and you need a pass rusher. Well, they got a guy that everybody feels is going to be a once in a long time pass rusher out of Ohio State. You have quarterbacks, at least 2 of which are considered once in a long time.
Yeah, once in a generation type quarterback.
Yeah, really, really good ones. And so you have some people who can turn football teams around. There are a couple of other pass rushers, not in his class, but there are a couple of other pass rushers that look good. There's some other defensive players that we'll have Haslett on one day this week, and he can give us a good rundown on some of those, especially those linebackers and DBs that were there. So anyway, I think answer your question, I think it's a good draft, very good draft.
Yeah, once again, it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. And on the draft note, I do want to come out. The NFL has made an update here with the NFL draft. It will take place without fans on April 23rd through 25th in Las Vegas. Now, that's the same date it was going to take place, but at this point, it's going to be without fans. A couple notes here for people. Look, and I was one that was like, you know what? It seems inevitable, but the NFL, not making a statement yet, how much of a moneymaker that is for them as well. Look, last year, to give you an idea of how important this is that they do this without fans, is in Nashville, it brought over 600,000 fans in attendance. Listen, I love Nashville. It's like a second home to me. Everybody downtown right there, seeing them just packed, that's crazy. And right, the last thing you need right now when you're talking about the sickness spreading or the virus spreading is to people being close quarters like that. Coach, in Vegas, this is just their projection was 750,000 people, possibly more. Coach, the NFL had to do this.
Yeah, they had to do it. And look, I've heard estimates as much as 2 million people
Right.
because you're combining, not you're giving another excuse, a great excuse to go to Las Vegas. And you
Some people
combine
don't need any.
you combine the NFL draft with Vegas, and you've got a recipe for a lot of people coming out there. Well,
Yeah.
they had to do it this way, but they'll go ahead with the draft. It's not going to be called. They can do everything that we're talking about electronically.
And coach, that's another question here is when you look at this, everybody's saying the league year they need to push that back because of all the stuff going on right now. All this, it seems to me, is you can do this for through the phone, virtually, whatever it may be. Do you think they need to push the league year back?
Wow, for crying out loud, no. Well, that's ridiculous. Everything that they're doing right now, they can do electronically or by the phone or whatever. You don't have to have somebody there to get agreement on a contract, for example. You don't have to have somebody there to draft them. We know that. So anything that they're doing, the planning for the year has to be done at least this far ahead. See, people that challenge this and say that they should be calling everything off don't know what they're talking about. I'm just telling you, they have no idea. There's a year preparation to get ready for the next year, and what's going on right now to prepare for this next season is tremendous. I mean, there are a number of things going on that people wouldn't stop to think about. Not only the logistics from travel, but where you stay, workouts, food, all the other amenities that come with that, uh, tickets, assignments, and it just goes on and on and on and on. All that, none of that can be done without time. You can't just do that overnight. You don't call the Marriott Hotel and we're coming in. We're bringing 250 people, and we need 250 rooms and meeting rooms to accommodate 100 people, and we'll have 100 people eating at such and such time. You don't do that overnight.
Yeah, I think that's the thing we have to remember is this is not some thrown together organization when you're talking about what everything that goes on in the NFL. And coach, that's why I ask you because nobody knows better than you. Us as a general fan, we look at it and with everything being canceled, we say, yeah, yeah, it needs to be pushed back. It needs to be pushed back. Yep, because there's no way they should be doing anything right now. But if you can do this in the comfort of your building or your home or whatever on the telephone, listen, we have some of the greatest technology if we're not going to use it now, then why do we even have it?
Yeah.
Things may be a little bit tougher back in the day, but nowadays with everything we do, everything's so virtual. This is perfect. Like everything works out.
Yeah, you got to charter airplanes, you got to charter buses, it goes on, the list goes on and on and on. I'm telling you, and these are complicated situations. They're not that easy to do. They're fairly difficult. So, having said that, I think they're moving on at the appropriate pace. Um, calling the draft, saying the draft would be with no spectators, I think was a wise thing to do. Um, Now that cost the people that it cost some money are Vegas, Las Vegas, because
Right.
the economic impact last year to Nashville was tremendous, and they're not going to get that in Vegas. Not that they don't get a lot of visits out there,
Right.
but that one particular one would have been quite phenomenal for them, really.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing is the economic impact for everybody now. But when you talk about having almost possibly 2 million people there, that's crazy to think about. And that's the one thing in all this is, look, sports will go on. Everybody, this is going to pass. Everything's going to be okay. And the other thing is this. Look, I've went back and watched so many old football games, basketball games, whatever it may be, and I guess the silver lining to this is it seems that football, whether it's college football or NFL, is going to be unscathed. Hopefully, by that time, everything is going to be okay.
Yeah.
The biggest thing right now is just for everybody to do what you're supposed to do and use common sense. And
Yeah.
if we do that, we can move on faster. I mean, as a sports fan, it's hard to just sit there and not do anything sometimes. But if you think you're sick, remember, I'm not here to be a doctor. I am definitely not a doctor like Andy Reid. But just use common sense. Wash your hands. And if you're sick, don't go around people. That's just simply put.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach, listen, we're up against a break here. When we come back, we got some free agency news, and we've got the too early NCAA Top 25. You're not going to want to miss it. All that right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Sometimes your bank, your family, and your friends love you, but they don't have the money to help you. Sometimes we have chances to make money, but the old saying, you've got to have money to make money, rings true. At Pensacola Specialty Pond, we can help. If you have trucks, heavy equipment, airplanes, boats, jet skis, anything with value, Pensacola Specialty Pond can loan you that short-term money you need. No credit checks, and at Pensacola Specialty Pond, you're going to find the money and the discretion you need.
Now at 6428 Pensacola Boulevard, north of Car City. Call 432-9050, 432-9050.
ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM 99.1 FM is accepting applications for employment. Periodically, we have openings in sales, business, news, promotions, engineering, production, and programming. We'll keep your application for consideration when such an opening occurs. We also provide internships for qualified students. Apply online at ESPNpensacola.com or at our studios at 7251 Plantation Road behind University Town Plaza. ADX Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
First Take, Your Take, with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
His football career started as a quarterback at Pensacola High. It culminated as the coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, Coach K. Stevenson talks football every day at noon on Talk Football with Coach K.
Kareem Hunt got pulled over last week for speeding.
This guy's been in trouble over and over and over again. Now, if they get him out of this, he will get in trouble again.
Noon to 1, weekdays on ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
You can watch Coach K talk football live right now on our YouTube channel at ESPN Pensacola 1330.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson on this Monday afternoon. Well, if you're quarantined or whatever you want to call it, maybe you're working from home, as many of us here at the radio station have been, we're talking some football with you. That's the one thing right here, Coach, when we talk about it, it doesn't seem, the talks have not slowed down when it comes to the NFL. It is not taking a hit at all. Let's just put it that way. One thing I want to note that come in now, Austin Hooper. Now remember, Hunter Henry, the tight end for the Chargers, I almost said San Diego Chargers, the LA Chargers, well, he was franchise tagged last week. Well, that was a big deal because the New England Patriots, one of the people they were trying to go after was either Hunter Henry or Austin Hooper. Those are two premier tight ends right now that were looking to possibly be free agents. Well, Austin Hooper, it's been said that the Falcons were going to let him go test free agency and see if he wants to come back. Austin Hooper said that they are close to the deal. This is Austin Hooper himself, close to a deal with the Cleveland Browns, looking to make him the NFL's highest paid tight end. Well, this is important, Coach, because when you look at this, Austin Hooper was the almost last tight end that could be that dynamic tight end that the New England Patriots needed. And I say this all because this comes back to Tom Brady. If there is no help, Tom Brady is not going to come back. He's not going to come back to the same thing. He's been in talks with this. Coach, my next question, with this happening, it almost seems kind of, well, maybe Brady is going to Tampa, or maybe he is going to the Indianapolis Colts. Coach, what are the New England Patriots going to do without Tom Brady? It's been so long. Well, what do you think their plan is?
Well, that's an interesting question for sure. Now, they have a quarterback there they drafted in the 4th round last year from Auburn. And the reports on him going way back, which I've said on this program even before he went to Auburn, was that he is the real deal. He's a quality quarterback. He's got all the physical talents that you're looking for, and then he also is a bright young man, and covers some of the boxes for the intangibles, as far as we know. Okay. I think that they're pleased with him at New England. It's very difficult to get any information, true information out of New England, and rightfully so. I don't blame them. That's information that should stay in their house. That's why before the last break you were talking about something that was offered, a deal that was offered by New England. I wonder who put that out, who said that, and who thinks they know, because I can assure you that that's not common knowledge. They would, unless they broke into the offices up there and got the drawer open, the offer drawer, and took a look at it. But I just don't think anybody knows what they've offered someone. I don't buy that for a minute, and I don't know for sure how they're feeling about their present quarterback situation. I do think they would do this. If Brady leaves, I think they would end up bringing in a guy, because we haven't talked about, for example, Cincinnati's quarterback,
Andy Dalton.
He's probably going to be on the street. That could be a fit for him at New England. But one of the older veterans that could come in and maybe give them a little security there at the quarterback position and make it a real dogfight in camp, with him, between him, because he's going to look better. I don't care who it is. He's going to look better than the start of a 2-year quarterback in training camp. He's going to look better, have more knowledge, and so on. He'll be able to demonstrate. So anyway, I could see that happening, bringing in somebody like that to go along with them, and they probably would feel fairly secure.
This is the thing is, of course, we just got news, Coach, that the Arizona Cardinals have traded running back David Johnson to the Houston Texans. This is hours after they used a transition tag on their running back, Kenyon Drake, of course, coming in from Miami after had a good year with the Cardinals after being traded there. This is what we're saying. Things are changing as we speak. Every minute it seems like these deals are being made, and that's the point we're at now. That's the exciting part of all this. Listen, with all the stuff going on, Coach, that's the glory of it. We pay attention to this stuff anyway, but we've got this news updating just constantly. I've got a ticker right here that's going on my computer right now.
Yeah.
Look, this is for Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. I don't see it happening. And Coach, you've made the point. It could, and I agree with you. Listen, that report, nobody would say where they got that report from. It's just a bunch of people started reporting the same thing. They offered him a 1-year deal. I can't imagine that, but then again,
I don't buy that. I don't buy that. Believe me, with the situation the way it is, I just don't buy that. Now look, Brady is going to ask the questions. What are we going to do at the receiver position? What are we going to do at the tight end position? What are we going to do at the offensive line positions, plural? They're missing 2. And they just lost the best offensive line coach in football. What are we doing to replace or to either install that talent into the lineup or replace somebody? And the answer is going to be we haven't done anything yet because they haven't.
Well, 850-623-1330 is the number. Caller, who's this?
The phone. Your Google.
All right. Well, don't think that was a caller there, Coach. Think that was somebody trying to sell me maybe a credit card.
Oh.
I'll have to call them back. No, but look, Coach, I agree with you here. And here's the thing, another note coming out. Adam Schefter saying, as legal tampering period is now kicked off, of course, at noon, the report is the Colts are pursuing former Chargers quarterback Phillip Rivers, but that is not the only guy. They are looking at other quarterback options as well. I know that sounds like common sense, but now the legal tampering, it's noon. Of course, it was noon an hour ago over there in the Eastern time zone, but this is going to be changing ever so quickly, Coach.
Now that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense, and we've talked about it. Frank Reich was Rivers' coach for 3 years out in San Diego, and he knows him. He knows Rivers knows the system. There's a lot to be said for that particular reunion. But quite frankly, Brady, Rivers, you got to go with Brady.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not diminishing Rivers because I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's done a good job. But I think, needless to say, we could go on all day about the comparison there. But quite simply, I would take Brady 10-1 right now.
Well, Coach, the other thing, too, is the timeline is the same. Rivers has said he wants to play 2 years max. And that's kind of – Brady said he wants to play 3. We're going to say 2 is kind of where we think. Well, he may be 3. But so when you look at those guys, you look at the comparison, it's not like you're going to have this guy for 6 years and this guy for 2 years. They both about the same on the timeline. So that's the other part of this. Coach, I do want to talk about something here. Breaking into some college news. Now, of course, the way too early top 25 has come out. Look, college football, I could talk about it every day, all day long. Coach, number 1, of course, the Clemson Tigers coming out on top. Number 2, the Georgia Bulldogs. That's a surprise team here. Jamie Newman coming in at quarterback. Things, people say he's the real deal. We'll see. Number 3, Ohio State. Number 4, Alabama. Number 5, Penn State. Number 6, Oregon. Then it rounds out with Oklahoma, Florida, Notre Dame, and LSU. Coach, my question on this, Clemson doesn't surprise me at number 1. That's kind of where I figured they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is the big question mark here. Georgia not only jumps Ohio State, they jump Alabama. And when you look at this, though, and I know, look, they have a good recruiting class. Is this because what we're thinking of, Jamie Newman, the transfer quarterback, that's going to be the deal breaker here? Am I missing something?
I don't think you could put that much credibility in Jamie Newman. Now, maybe he'll come in and just do an outstanding job. And I would think that he is going to do a good job anyway. But I don't know how you can discount Alabama when you're talking about this. I can understand Clemson, like you. They have the top quarterback in the country, an outstanding quarterback, by the way, not just best in the country, but one of a few. I think he and the 2 going first this year, pretty much in the same category. So I give them number 1 easily. I don't know about Georgia number 2. really. I'd have to think about Alabama. Ohio State's going to be tough. They're going to be in the mix, no doubt about that. One that they've got up there that, and we can talk about each one of these, but I have a little doubt about Penn State.
I agree.
Penn State to me is they're they're just the they play in a big. They're a small fish in a big pool.
Well, Penn State, Coach, I look at them almost like Wisconsin. They're a team that's going to have 10 wins, typically what we see, but they're never going to beat Ohio State, and they're going to lose a game during the season that they shouldn't have lost.
Exactly. They end up losing. They end up losing a couple of games, no doubt about it.
And I think Penn State personally was more talented this year than they're going to, or this past season than this upcoming season. I know a lot can happen there. Coach, I want to go back with Georgia though too. The thing we have to remember, Georgia, their 5 offensive linemen are gone now. They've got to revamp. Sam Pittman, the great offensive lineman coach for them, and I know you can plug and play other coaches there, but I think Sam Pittman did such a good job, not only with recruiting, but just everything as well. Kirby Smart has been known as such a good recruiter. Everybody says he is one of the best, but for Kirby Smart, it's been winning the big game. It's a matter of getting there. You get there, and then you can't win that game to get over the hump. And in the SEC, winning the SEC, in a lot of cases we've seen in the past, basically you've won a national championship because moving on, those are some of the best of the best, and I expect it to kind of be that way again this year. Now, Ohio State, yeah, they're going to revamp. They're going to be just fine. Of course, Justin Fields and crew coming back, losing J.K. Dobbins, but they also have other running back position. Great recruiting class. But, Coach, I can't get over Georgia losing 4 of their starting offensive linemen this year. That's going to be so tough in the SEC.
It's going to be extremely difficult. You know, what do we say about SEC football? Almost to the man is look at that how strong you are up front, both offensively and defensively, and lose 4 out of 5. You know, I don't know. That doesn't sound too good for them. And I would not put them there, especially with their quarterback too. Keep in mind they're losing a very, very effective quarterback.
The other thing to remember here when we go to number 6 and we look at Oregon, Oregon of course playing in the Pac-12, you can see that. You know, it's a weaker division right now. Utah is not going to be what they were this year, even though Oregon beat them. The thing to remember here is Oregon plays Ohio State to start the season. This is going to be interesting because this could be, you know, Oregon playing Auburn last year. If Oregon didn't play Auburn, you could say Oregon could have been that number 4 team. Even with the loss to Arizona State, they would have been that number 4 team and made the playoffs. Not that it probably would have mattered with LSU what they did. But Oklahoma at number 7, Spencer Rattler is their new quarterback. Now, we've seen their quarterbacks from Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray and now Jalen Hurts moving on. Spencer Rattler, there's a lot of pressure on this young kid here. It's going to depend on – I don't know. There's so many unknowns. That's what I love about this when we talk about it. There are some things we talk about, like with Florida, Kyle Trask. We saw him last year. We believe with Dan Mullen and what he's doing at Florida is a good thing there, that he's going to get those guys on track. But Kyle Trask is a guy that you can actually, if you're a Florida Gator fan, and Coach, I know you played there, you can actually hang your hat on this guy and go, okay, in the years past, we've had question marks at the quarterback position, but Kyle Trask is a guy when you look at, Coach, and look, you played quarterback, you've coached quarterbacks, you were the NFL coach, you've been all around, you were hands deep in there. When you look at a guy like Kyle Trask, is he somebody you can hang your hat on and believe in?
Absolutely. I've talked about this since he started playing in Florida. And I think when he came in, he steadied that football team, no doubt about it. He's largely responsible. He's largely responsible for their success coming down the pike there. I think he really, really gives them an edge, a big edge. And the other kid, you know, while he had some talent, he was a peaks and valley, up and down type guy. No, I like Trask. I think he is a very talented young man, sharp, extremely sharp, and gives them a real good chance.
Coach, when we look at number 9 here, Notre Dame. Listen, Notre Dame seems to be on this fringe spot almost every year, pretty much. And Notre Dame, Ian Book coming back is going to be great for them. They're going to have some talent. You never know with a team like Notre Dame, though. But the question is always, well, how truly good are they? Because Everybody brings up the national championship game years ago against Alabama and they got blown out. Things have changed. They've held their own. I just don't know if this, I don't know enough about this Notre Dame team yet to count them out, but they could be a surprise sleeper this year.
Well, they could be. And listen, I think Notre Dame has done a good job over the last 2 to 3 years of keeping an outstanding recruiting class coming in. I think they're better overall physically and talent-wise than they have been in the past. And I think that they've got a chance. They've got a chance to be as good as some of the how should I put this? They're not. I agree with you. They're not. I don't think in the upper 2 or 3 teams in the country, but they're in the mix with everybody else from there on. Yeah.
And Coach, to round out the top 10 here, LSU. This is going to be, to me, I think LSU is going to be okay. They're not going to look if you're trying to compare this team to last year's team, just stop yourself now, because last year's team was something we've never seen in college football. We need to remind ourselves of that. Just to all the talent they have, they're going to be okay. They may be better than what we think. Is this going to be a big year for Coach Ed O? Because remember, if he doesn't have a great year, Coach, they lost so much. They lost 16 starters in different positions there that went to the draft. And not only that, he lost, over half his coaching staff because, you win, that's what happens. Coaches get other jobs elsewhere. And so Coach O, I think, has done a good job bringing the guys in. Scott Linehan, of course, coming in as well. Bo Pelini's now back at LSU. A lot of people are excited about that. He's done a great job to recover in what was, it seemed, a month after they won the championship, everybody's gone. So the one thing with LSU, I think 10 is a good spot because I think this could also be a sneaky team because they are still returning 2 of their best receivers. You got your new quarterback. We're going to see what's going to happen with that. But even at the running back position, I think they have so much depth, and what Coach O has done there has built a team that, is going to compete for a while.
Yeah, well, keep in mind LSU always is going to have an awful lot of talent. They just have a lock on the state of Louisiana and always pick off a top kid or 2 out of Mississippi, out of Arkansas, or Tennessee, or Florida. They just do a good job of putting talent together there. And it just in the state of Louisiana, what they get from the New Orleans, Baton Rouge area and some of those small towns around there is tremendous talent. LSU is going to be a good football team. I've got a lot of respect for Coach O, what he did last year, how he handled that football team and what he did to put it together, and a lot of credit should go his way. So I think the way you've summarized it is good. They'll be sneaky good. Don't count them out. If you think that they're going to lose 16 people and won't be heard from again and going to be at the bottom of the league, you're wrong, because they've got too much talent they can replace other kids with. And they got a good coaching staff, and they've got after it.
Yeah, LSU is going to be that team to watch. I know, and once again, I say this, what LSU did last year was absolutely off the charts amazing. But nonetheless, don't expect to see that this year, but don't be surprised if LSU's a lot better than what you believe. Listen, we're up against a break here. When we come back, we're going to have some more NFL free agency, and we're going to talk a little, New Orleans Saints football, kind of how we feel the season's going to play out for the Saints here. You're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
There's only one natural ingredient that could instantly shift your mood, help you focus, lower stress, and boost your self-confidence. It's available everywhere, works immediately, is affordable, and can change the quality of your life forever. It's called playing music.
Side effects include restless split syndrome, spontaneous undulation, and can be highly contagious. If a smile doesn't last for more than 4 hours, consult your nearest music store.
Just play. Your prescription to a better life. Brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
What's up, Chad here from the Sports Drive. Well, no sports to talk about. March Madness canceled, every major sport, so maybe you get to spend some more time around your family. Oh, what? Not supposed to touch anybody? Well, just go home and watch Price is Right. But if you are older, you have a better chance of getting it. Right, Mike Gundy? Oh, 40? You should be all right. And he won't be broadcasting sports, but one guy that feels the same way we all do with no sports, probably Joe Buck.
Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness.
Sports Drive 5 to 7 with no sports.
Your ESPN Pensacola Ridiculous Stats, I'm JP. On average, there are 18 minutes of total action in a baseball game. Boy, I bet we take those 18 minutes right now. Babe Ruth only won 4 World Series in 15 seasons with the New York Yankees, while Yogi Berra won 13 World Series in 18 seasons with the Yanks. And the 100-point game gets all the deserved attention, but a few years later, Will Chamberlain went 25 points, grabbed 22 rebounds, and dealt out 21 assists. It remains the only double, triple-double in history. Now that's impressive. Your ESPN Ridiculous Stats, I'm JP.
This is Davis Allen from Sports Call with Davis and Justin, and you're listening to Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
Welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson on this Monday afternoon. Talking some football with you. Coach, I want to get into a little bit of, the free agency tracker and, the franchise tag tracker is what I should call this. Just some of the names around the league when you look at this have guys getting franchise tagged. Tampa Bay, the NFL sack leader Shaq Barrett has been franchise tagged along with Derrick Henry. A.J. Green for the Bengals. We saw that coming as the Bengals have made that announcement before. Joe Burrow apparently wanted A.J. Green to come back, so the Bengals said, all right, we'll make it happen. For Kansas City, Chris Jones, their big run stopper, played a big role in the Super Bowl. Moving on here, Bud Dupree, I think the linebacker for the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a name that people thought he was going to get re-signed, but Bud Dupree is a great linebacker, also good in coverage as well. Coach, when you look at this, of course, the Falcons releasing Devonta Freeman just came in as well. All this is good. This is changing ever so quickly. I mean, it's just constantly, like I said, I'm constantly updating here. But, Coach, when you talk about a franchise tag, I guess for a lot of people, some people look at it and they go, what in the world is that? For the general public here, when you hear franchise tag, why would a guy, some people I'm hearing are, why would they franchise tag a guy? Why not just sign a guy? What is all this? Coach, when you franchise tag somebody, I'm sure you had to franchise tag somebody before.
Yeah.
What is the point of a franchise tag, and how does it help your organization?
Well, if you can't reach agreement on a contract, you do try to get a contract agreement reached. That's cleaner, better, no hard feelings. But if you can't do that, then you can franchise them, meaning you can keep them. They're different franchise tags, but basically for the public out there, means that you can keep them in your organization. So if you can't afford to lose somebody, heck, you franchise tag them. And it's not like you say, well, they want to go somewhere else. Well, baloney. You don't want to do something and go do it. I mean, if you had that, you wouldn't have a National Football League. Everybody would want to go be on the same football team. So at any rate, that's basically what the franchise tag is. It's a way for teams to keep their most important player, maybe keep them from leaving their football team and give them more time to negotiate a longer-term contract with them through the end of that franchise tag. They can negotiate another contract.
I think the big thing to remember here is that when a guy gets franchise tag, of course, Coach Dak Prescott, everybody's saying, well, he should be franchised and all this other stuff. There's a lot that goes into that. And this could actually work out better for Dak Prescott, and it could work out for the Cowboys as well in the end when it's all said and done here. That's the overall feel of this. And Coach, like I said, that's the reason I ask you. You've been in the front office meetings. You've been a part of all the decisions being made before. Nobody knows it better than you, but it's funny to hear guys give their opinions on this when some people have no clue truly what's going on in that front office of what deals they're trying to make long term. You can't just sign a guy for an ungodly amount of money because it can hurt your franchise down the road here. That's the one thing we have to remember. Coach, a team that, of course, we have a ton of fans around here, the New Orleans Saints. Well, Alvin Kamara came out and said, look, I'm back to 100%. He battled through knee injuries last season. A lot of people didn't realize that. They kind of wondered, well, what's wrong with Alvin Kamara? He didn't look as sharp as he did before. Well, he never said anything. He just kept battling through it. Of course, the teams and stuff knew this. But, Coach, when you look at this, what do the Saints need to add this offseason? I've got a lot of questions, especially this weekend, talking to people. What about the Saints? They've been so close for so long. What do they need? Coach, my opinion here, look, they added Latavius Murray last season to help a guy like Alvin Kamara. They needed help in the backfield to not put as much pressure on Kamara. Of course, with Mark Ingram leaving to go to Baltimore. The defense with Cam Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, Marcus Davenport, those guys, Marshawn Lattimore, brought in Janoris Jenkins to help. The defense was pretty solid. They had their moments. But, Coach, they seem like they're on the cusp of being elite. They can't get over that hump. Of course, with the Minnesota Vikings this year, that's just unfortunate with that call and everything that goes on there. But, Coach, when I look at the Saints this year, in my opinion, you got Drew Brees back. That's a big point. Mm-hmm. This is a Saints team that I believe is a Super Bowl contender. I think with what they have right now, what they have coming back, pretty much the same team is coming back. But I do believe, Coach, they need – look, with Michael Thomas over there, which is arguably the best wide receiver in football. He is just unbelievable. I think they needed another wide receiver and maybe some offensive line help. That's about it.
Well, let me tell you, there's no doubt that they need another receiver to go along with Thomas. They've got to take some pressure off him. He can't continue to catch 130 passes in a year.
It's insane.
That's insane. And it also is going to wear him out. You just can't do that. But he's got to get some help there. You're right. I think they could use another tight end. That would give. And you're right, certainly, about the fact that the only way that New Orleans could win anything is to have Drew Brees at quarterback. I believe that sincerely. So they do have Drew Brees. They do have Thomas coming back. They do have Kamara. And I think they would like to have another more complete back. But what they've got, they can certainly live with. But they need that receiver. Again, good draft for them this year. Good chance.
Yeah, I think it's a good point you bring up the tight end position. Listen, Jared Cook he was good in spurts, but he's not a guy that, look, Drew Brees is a lot like Tom Brady. He needs that tight end. He's relied on that tight end a lot. Yeah. And when Jared Cook was dropping passes and stuff, that offense stalled. And this offense is entirely too good to be stalling. The question mark here, I agree. Listen, the wide receiver position, Traquan Smith is a good young receiver, but he's not ready to be the number 2. Ted Ginn Jr. has not been himself in a long time. And let's remember, you have Taysom Hill as your gadget guy to go out there and do anything you need him to do. The offensive line is pretty good. They're a bunch that's been playing together. They stayed pretty healthy for most of the year. Of course, Andres Pete, Eric McCoy, and Ryan Ramczyk and those guys doing a really good job. I just think, Coach, I think you're right. Of course they need a receiver, but I think the underlying factor there is the tight end position. What are you going to get? If you decide to stay with Jared Cook, okay, but you need a guy like Josh Hill, their backup tight end, to come through.
You need another tight end that they can count on, and count on to be 2 things: 1, a pass catcher, and 2, a blocker. Would make a heck of a difference in that whole offense. And I'm not sure they have them, but we'll see how the other kid comes on this year if they don't get anybody. But they're 1 or 2 in the draft. They may decide to go there. They could. but I hope they go receiver. I really do. I think it'd be the best thing for the Saints.
Coach, when you look at the Saints, just if they add a receiver, let's just say they add a receiver in the draft or whatever it may be, is this a team that you feel they can go compete for a Super Bowl?
Yes, I do, and because of the fact that you stated right off the bat, you were right. But Drew Brees, listen, let me tell you, as long as you've got him under the center and some talent out there on the field, and maybe they should, I would agree. I don't know. I don't know that much about their offensive line. I think they could probably use another offensive lineman, at least one in there. So if they could do any shoring up that offensive line with Drew Brees and pick up another receiver, I think they're golden.
Well, that's for Saints fans out there. We'd love to hear what you think as well. It's always, look, the Saints have been so close for so long in all this. This is you almost feel bad for them at this point just because of what they've went through, being on the cusp of greatness. But listen, we're up against a break. When we come back, we're going to have some more NFL free agency news and some more NCAA news for you right here on Talk Football with Coach K on ESPN Pensacola.
I'm attorney Stephen Luongo with Levin, Papantonio, Thomas, Mitchell, Rafferty, and Proctor in Pensacola, Florida. Distracted driving is a dangerous epidemic on America's roadways. In 2016 alone, over 3,000 people were killed in motor vehicle crashes involving distracted drivers. This according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. For more information, please visit us today online at levinlaw.com. Please be safe on the roadways. Stop the text, stop the wrecks.
When you're looking for a great deal on a reliable new or certified pre-owned vehicle, you can't beat Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola. Bob Tyler Toyota has the best selection in town at incredible low prices. You can check out their amazing inventory from Camrys to Tundra trucks to 4Runners. It's all at Bob Tyler Toyota, and you can find it online at bobtylertoyota.com. Also score a touchdown this football season with the car of your dreams. Again, it's only at Bob Tyler Toyota in Car City, Pensacola.
There's only one place in town for the lowest prices and greatest selection of firearms. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range. Visit our fully stocked Gun Pro Shop for new and used firearms, accessories, and ammunition. Check out the Indoor Shooting Range. We offer rentals on guns, including fully automatic machine guns and silencers. Ladies, this is the safe place to learn how to use a gun. Plus, Tuesday is Ladies' Day. Women shoot for half price all day. The best place to buy firearms in Pensacola. Pensacola Indoor Shooting Range, Highway 29 in Car City.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tea time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys' weekend, let her relax at Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa. Visit swmedspa.com. Stillwater's Day and Medical Spa, voted best on the Bay 10 years in a row, and now offering tattoo removal.
There are everyday actions to help prevent the spread of respiratory diseases. Wash your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Stay home when you are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects with household cleaning spray. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
First Take, Your Take with Jason Fitz.
Remember, it's not that long ago the 76ers over-exceeded expectations in the playoffs, right? So suddenly it became they are the future and the future is now. Trust the process became this thing that works. Now they've hit a wall. And it's staggering to me to hear Embiid talk about he doesn't know if he's getting the ball. And Horford to say, we've got issues in the locker room, but we'll keep that private. Guess what? You just made them public.
1 to 2 weekday afternoons on ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
The greatest name in sports radio is ESPN. Wherever you have Alexa, you can hear ESPN Pensacola 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. Just say,
Alexa, enable ESPN Pensacola 1330 skill.
Talk football every day with Pensacola's own Coach K.
Credit a great performance by Garoppolo. And I love the way he throws the football. He's got all the things going for him.
Every weekday, noon till 1 on ESPN Pensacola 1330 FM 99.1.
The teams, the games, the fans, the local talk. This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM.
And welcome back to Talk Football with Coach K. JP here with you alongside former NFL coach Kay Stevenson. Couple minutes here, Coach, when we talk about this. Of course, the NCAA suspending all recruiting through April 15th, and the SEC suspends all sports activities until April 15th. A good point you were making during the break is with everything going on, like I said to you, a lot of people say, well, football's in August and September, we're going to be just fine. But there's a lot of things that behind the scenes that have to go on here. That how do you recreate this, Coach? What could possibly happen in all this?
Well, they're going to have to get some type of spring training, if you want to call it spring practice in. And they're going to have to scale that down, I would imagine, some. Not a whole heck of a lot, but some. And then there's going to be an awful lot of things that are going to be condensed because what you want to get out of your football team, talking about football primarily, out of your football team between spring training, spring game, and the regular season. And there's quite a bit there. What are they losing now when they don't have control of these kids? So there's a lot that's going on right now that we're just gonna have to see how they make that up. Smart people are going to make it up. They'll make it up in different ways. But most importantly for everybody is, we don't need. Last thing we need is panic. There's no reason to panic. Let's just be careful about do what the doctors and the people that in the know have advised, and everybody just be cautious. Wash your hands. Stay out of big crowds. Stay out of exposure to certainly someone that's had it, or someone that just got off an airplane from overseas, or anything like that. And you'll be ready to roll.
Absolutely. And Coach, when you talk about this with football and everything, that's the glory of this. Is in times like this, people need to hear sports. Well, hopefully we can give them everything that they need right now, especially with NFL free agency. And listen, tomorrow we know it's going to be another great show because there's going to be a million other things going on in the NFL.
Yeah, we got a lot going on, so don't worry about it.
Well, Coach, it's been a pleasure, my friend.
You bet.
Well, guys, we appreciate it. You've been listening to Talk Football with Coach K here on ESPN Pensacola.
This is ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM and 99.1 FM, the only local station that talks sports 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. From Gullick and Wingo to the Sports Drive with Chad Brilliante. Plus talk football with Coach K at noon, sports call every Saturday. If you'd like to partner with us as an advertiser or a promotional partner, just give us a call at 262-6000.
You're listening to ESPN Pensacola, 1330 AM, 99.1 FM. All sports, all the time. WEBY, Milton, Pensacola.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, huge trade in the NFL. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting the Cardinals acquiring star receiver DeAndre Hopkins and a fourth-round pick in next month's draft from the Texans for running back David Johnson, a second-round pick, and a 2020 fourth-rounder. It is shocking that Houston would trade a talent like Hopkins, believes ESPN's Marcus Spears.
Obviously, Deshaun Watson had a great rapport. I thought that was a match made in heaven, and I thought those guys could make noise. But obviously, they want to do work in the trenches with the Houston Texans. And I just don't know if I would move D-Hop off my football team, a dynamic playmaker like that.
The Browns close to a deal with Austin Hooper that will make him the highest-paid tight end in the NFL. Cowboys placed exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Dak Prescott. If the sides don't reach a long-term contract by July 15th, Dak plays the 2020 season on the tag. The NFL will proceed with its draft next month, but without public events in Las Vegas, the modified format still being developed, according to Commissioner Roger Goodell.
As the coronavirus continues to influence our new normal, the legal tampering window in the NFL is opening. Plus, the latest on the franchise tags of Derrick Henry and more. Golick and Wingo, Tuesday, 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
First Take Your Take on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and ESPN News. I'm Jason Fitz.
on ESPN2. Also presented by Progressive Insurance. You guys are on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. And let's face it, everybody wants to chime in on Dak Prescott, so we're letting that happen. I want to get you caught up on some of the most important news you need throughout the course of the day. Again, Dak Prescott has been exclusively tagged with the franchise tag, meaning he can't talk to other teams. He will make a salary of between $30 and $33 million. And at this point, it does not close the window for them to continue to negotiate right now. So we know at this point that that's going to continue. We also know that DeAndre Hopkins and a fourth-round pick have been traded from the Texans to the Cardinals in exchange for running back David Johnson, everybody's fantasy football player extraordinaire from a few years ago. David Johnson, a second-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick. So we have that at this point. We also have several franchise tags being played out there. Of note, Derrick Henry, last year's leading rusher, has been franchise tagged by the Titans. No big shock there, but it does mean Jack Conklin, the offensive lineman, at this point can at least start talking to teams. And also, don't forget, because of the tagging of Dak Prescott, Amari Cooper is free to talk about other teams. And we managed to make it this far into the conversation and not actually say the words Tom Brady. So I'm pretty proud. I'm pretty proud of all of us. Again, I can't stress this enough. The coronavirus epidemic, and pandemic, I should say, the coronavirus pandemic is obviously the story that continues to rule the sports world. It rules the country. All eyes are on it. We will continue to keep everybody updated. But today, because the NFL opened their legal tampering period, as they call it, starting at noon Eastern today, it means we have football news. And I'm hoping that this gives everybody a little bit of reprieve. I'm not trying to take anything away from the seriousness of what's going on across the country and across the world. But if I can help everybody escape for a little bit and I can help everybody get this moment, we will take it all day long because it gives us sports to talk about. 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. What should be done with Dak Prescott? And we'll continue to give you that information as you get it, as we get it, I should say, across the board. I believe as we look forward here, we're dealing with a couple of different locations. So I'm going to see if we've got it here. We're going to go to some Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, as we get into everything about Dak. And what I know right now is that Adam Schefter joined Max and Stephen A. to talk a little bit about what Dak is doing and where they are with the Cowboys right now.
Well, we're in the same spot with Dak Prescott that we've been in all along. The difference here is that the exclusive franchise tag means other teams can't go and sign him if they want, and it gives the Dallas Cowboys more time to try to work out a deal with Dak Prescott that's been very elusive for both sides for months now. If we go back to last summer, this past season, the Cowboys made the decision to sign Zeke Elliott first. And obviously people have been talking about Dak Prescott. We were given various updates at various points. And it's a situation where everybody was waiting to see if they could get a deal done. They never could. And I don't believe they're still close now. And I don't believe this was really a deadline to get a deal done. I think the next real deadline to me is the first week in April. Look, the Dallas Cowboys are supposed to have, who knows if it'll happen in light of what's going on in our country, but they're supposed to have their off-season program begin. And if it begins the first week of April, if it's not canceled,